sexy.
I know.
And that shirt is not a good color on you.
There is nothing fans love more than watching their favorite TV BFFs be adorable on screen. Unfortunately, what you see on TV isn't always how things play out in the real world. These actors may have played ride or die best friends on the small screen, but when the camera stopped rolling, they weren't exactly buddy-buddy with their on-screen pal. It is impressive that they certainly did a good job of masking their rivalries, but today we'll be looking at some of television's most notable frenemies over the years.
You are a freak chick just for doing that.
Yeah, who pretends to be a psychopath just to see if she can pull it off?
Before Ariana Grande was the biggest name in pop music, she was a Nickelodeon star playing high schooler Kat Valentine on Victorious. Meanwhile, Victoria Justice starred as a series lead, Tori Vega. Tori and Kat were best friends throughout all 4 seasons of the show, which ended with Grande's character being spun off into the series Sam and Kat. Both actresses claimed the real-life tension between them was low-key. However, it's hard to ignore all the shade throwing. Some fans blame Sam and Kat for the cancellation of Victorious, but Grande denied all the allegations. When asked on social media why Victorious ended, Grande wrote in 2013, "The only reason Victorious ended is because one girl didn't want to do it." While it might be a coincidence that Justice happened to go on her own solo music tour immediately after the conclusion of the series, Justice seemingly confirmed Grande's post was about her when she wrote, "Some people would throw someone that they considered a friend under the bus just to make themselves look good. Hashtag stop being a phony. Hashtag if they only knew." The stars never became more confrontational than that, but their lack of real-life friendship has been apparent in the years since the show has ended. Speaking of Ariana Grande, she and Jennette McCurdy used to be close friends and co-stars while on the set of Sam and Kat. And even though they played best friends on the show, these ladies had their fair share of beef. The show collapsed in 2014 after McCurdy realized that Ariana Grande was being paid much more than she was, despite being a co-lead. However, Ariana took to Twitter to defend herself, saying, quote, "Jennette and I agreed up front that we would be treated equally on this show, in all regards, as we should be, considering we each work just as hard as the other on this show," Grande wrote. "The rumors circulating about our contracts and our salaries not being equal are absolutely ridiculous and false." McCurdy then tried renegotiating her contract, but the entire thing fell apart when Nickelodeon canceled the series. Later, Jennette wrote a blistering essay about toxic friendships, and many readers assumed that the essay was aimed at Ariana. We don't know how they feel about each other now, but it seems like their friendship couldn't handle the cancellation of the show. Serena and Blair weren't just 2 girls with aggressively rich teenager names. They were best friends and shade-throwing frenemies. But their relationship veered much more toward the friend side than enemies. As it turns out, the same did not apply to Blake Lively and Leighton Meester, who kept their relationship strictly professional. They were friendly, but they were not friends like Serena and Blair. Yet the second they'd be on set together, it's as if they were. And while they never fought or got into too heated arguments, they were never particularly close. However, according to a New York Magazine expose, Lively and Meester would avoid each other like the plague on set. Sadly, S and B aren't friends in real life, but luckily for fans, that never had an impact on their fierce on-air chemistry. If you were a fan of The Hills, you were most likely shocked when the on-screen besties Lauren Conrad and HEIDI MONTAG cut their friendship short and became public enemies. The duo's feud began in 2007 when website PerezHilton.com published an article that Lauren and her then-boyfriend Jason Waller had made a tape after the report made headlines. Conrad immediately took to her website to negate the whole thing. She also mentioned that one of her close friends didn't even call or text her after the news broke. And it was soon revealed that the friend was MONTAG, who took it upon herself to respond in her own US Weekly interview, saying she didn't reach out because she was in the hospital while recovering from her nose and boob jobs. Well, she definitely has a valid excuse. She may not have had the best of both worlds, but Miley didn't have the best of friendships with her on-screen best friend on the set of Hannah Montana. There's no denying that Hannah Montana's Miley and Lily had the type of friendship we all longed for. However, Cyrus shed a little more light on her friendship with Osmond in her autobiography Miles to Go, admitting that things weren't always peachy. She said, "Emily and I tried to be friends. We really did, but it always ended up in a fight," she wrote. "Our characters got along so well, why couldn't we act the same in real life?" Nevertheless, in March 2020, the actresses had the reunion fans had been waiting years for on Cyrus's Instagram live talk show, Bright Minded Live with Miley. The reunion was just enough to prove to fans that the former co-stars are still great friends. We couldn't go as far as to label NAYA Rivera and Lea Michele's characters on GLEE as close. However, they did share special moments that made fans view them as friends instead of enemies. But in real life, NAYA and Lea just couldn't stand each other. NAYA believes it had something to do with her role being expanded. In her autobiography, Sorry Not Sorry, she admitted their friendship broke down throughout the series, mostly because Lea didn't like sharing the spotlight. She also said that her friendship with Leia changed on the show, to the point where Leia stopped talking to her in the final season. We don't know if things are better now, but from the sound of things, Glee was just as dramatic behind the camera as it was in front. In the movie, they play members of the same stripping troupe, but the pair never warmed to each other on set. PETTYFER admitted they didn't get on because Channing Tatum does not like me, and for many reasons, many being my own fault. Magic Mike is roughly based on Tatum's own stripping career, and he, as producer and investor in the project, saw PETTYFER as a big risk. Later, there seems to have been a bit of business relating to unpaid rent. PETTYFER rented a flat from one of Tatum's mates, then moved out suddenly and didn't pay rent. When PETTYFER turned up for Magic Mike reshoots, the tide had turned against him. Channing had already told everyone he didn't like me, he explains. And what Channing says goes because he's a movie star. One can imagine that Tatum decided it would be easier not to bring PETTYFER's character back for the sequel. It's no secret ALYSSA Nicholas, who played Zoe's best friend Nicole on Zoe 101, and Jamie-Lynn didn't get along back in their Zoe 101 days. ALYSSA left the show in 2006 after 2 seasons amid rumors that she was feuding with Jamie-Lynn. The actress was written off the show after the 2nd season due to constant off-screen fights with the show's star, Jamie-Lynn Spears. In 2019, news came out that a Zoe 101 reboot may be in the works, followed by photos of nearly the whole cast reuniting, except for ALYSSA Nicholas. She expressed the hurt she felt about not being invited to the reunion in a series of emotional Instagram videos. She revealed that the potential reboot is triggering childhood trauma. Since this is a BFF list, we can't forget to mention the most famous BFFs on screen and in real life. The pair were practically inseparable in the early 2000s and were rarely seen without the other close by. Since they were so close, it didn't come as a surprise to fans when the socialites eventually landed their very own hit reality show, The Simple Life. The series ran for 3 seasons and featured the real-life BFFs, getting into all sorts of antics as they went from being Beverly Hills socialites to performing blue-collar work. In 2005, the infamous friendship we once knew was no more after Hilton announced during Us Weekly's Young Hot Hollywood Style Awards that Richie would no longer be a part of their reality series. Paris quote said, "It's my show, I've had it for 3 seasons, and I just want to freshen it up." Hilton confessed that she and Richie weren't friends, saying, "It's no big secret that Nicole and I are no longer friends. Nicole knows what she did, and that's all I'm ever going to say about it." Nina Dobrev and Paul Wesley might have appeared like the perfect friends and lovers while on the set of Vampire Diaries, but these two didn't always get along. Thankfully, they are confirmed besties now, but according to Dobrev, though on-screen lovers turned friends couldn't stand each other for the first 5 months of filming their show. "I respected Paul Wesley. I didn't like Paul Wesley," Nina Dobrev revealed on the Directionally Challenged podcast in June 2019. She insisted they were best friends and any kinks in their relationship was just a part of becoming a family on set. "We just didn't appreciate each other as much as we do now. It's a moment in time that we'll never get back, and I look back at it so fondly. It made us who we are in the best way possible." Preston Burke and Derek Shepherd grew close after surviving many life-threatening situations on Grey's Anatomy. In real life, however, Patrick Dempsey and Isaiah Washington were anything but. It was first reported that the two got into a physical altercation while on the show. Isaiah got all in Patrick's face because he was late for work, going as far as to grab him by the throat. Later, Washington was fired and written off the show after allegedly using a homophobic slur towards another co-star, T.R. Knight, who played Dr. George O'Malley. But even though Washington stated multiple times that he wasn't homophobic, this effectively ended his time on the show. While Jack and Charlie got along great on Lost, their real-life counterparts decidedly did not, which came as a shock to many. The drama began when an Ernest fan asked Monaghan to get his buddy and former co-star Fox on the social networking app. The actor responded with a terse, "He beats women. No thanks." Fox wasn't going to take a beating without a fair fight. He responded in an interview with Men's Journal, "In the 46 years I've been breathing on this planet, I have never hit a woman before. Never have, never will." Bickering droids C-3PO and R2-D2 were best buddies on screen, but it is regrettably true that Kenny Baker and Anthony Daniels didn't always get along in the Star Wars movies. Baker repeatedly took jabs at Daniels for years. "I just don't like him, and have never understood what his problem is." 4 years after the prequel trilogy was done, they were both invited to appear at a Star Wars event, and Baker reportedly said, "It depends. If you invite his lordship, the one with the golden balls, I won't be there." Milano and DOHERTY played not just best friends, but sisters. The 3 Hollowell sisters on Charmed were as close as can be, which is why fans were devastated when DOHERTY's character Prue was killed off in Season 3. Rumor has it the two butted heads while working on the early seasons of Charmed. Without naming Milano directly, DOHERTY claimed, "I don't want to work with people who beat about their job and complain about it and say they hate it or anything else." Given the rumored tension on the set, it was only a matter of time before somebody left the series. And that somebody was DOHERTY, who said goodbye to the show in 2001. Up through season 2 of The Good Wife, Margulies and Punjabi's characters were best friends, until it was revealed that Punjabi's Kalinda had slept with Margulies' character's husband in the past. After that, the two appeared much less frequently on screen together. But according to Vogue, a long-rumored feud between the co-stars may have played a role in the plot twist. Margulies confirmed that the season 6 finale had been shot separately due to Punjabi's filming The Fall at the same time. However, Punjabi wasn't having it. She fired back saying, "The Fall was not even in production at that time, and I was in New York ready to film the scene." We smell animosity.
Yes. I'm sorry.
It's surprising to know that your favorite on-screen besties weren't so friendly, but there's no denying that these actors have done an amazing job hiding their feuds. Which of these frenemies surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching The Things. Bye for now!